Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. Among the top tier great beings, the difference in godly powers was highly insignificant. They were more particular about which true treasures were suitable for them and which secret techniques were more powerful. Except for Luo Feng. In terms of true treasures and secret techniques, he did not lose out to these top-tier universe masters, but he was one notch weaker in terms of godly power. Therefore the power he could unleash dropped by one level. I know you have your own plans, having just lost your wing's true treasure, yet gaining another valuable armor that is secondary only to a supreme true treasure. You are merely a universe knight, but when it comes to studying diagrams of secret engravings, you have achieved the level of a universe master. Primal Chaos City leader laughed while shaking his head. Then he entrusted Luo Feng with instruction. I will not stand in your way, but you must maintain your vigilance at all times. If you meet with dangers you are unable to handle alone, inform me or inform Huge Axe. Understood. Luo Feng nodded. To Huge Axe and Primal Chaos City leader, he was indeed a unique individual. Treasures emerging in an endless stream. Powers improving mysteriously. Primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng, with a trace of hope in his eyes. Given the rate at which you are improving now, to truly become a universe master, you just need to hone your skills a little bit more. Then you will be my equivalent. Since Luo Feng's outburst in the Wave of Stars Ocean battle hundreds of years before, the battle that shocked him and Huge Axe, Primal Chaos City leader had personally approached Luo Feng for a friendly exchange of skills, as well as to have a proper conversation. Thereafter, Huge Axe had brought Luo Feng to see Teacher Origin, who had also had a discussion with Luo Feng. Teacher Origin might have been kept under suppression for eternity, but he was still able to execute Virtual Universe, a powerful secret technique. So naturally, he would be able to interact and communicate with Primal Chaos City leader and Huge Axe. The results of that conversation led Teacher Origin and Huge Axe to determine that, before the rise of Luo Feng, Primal Chaos City leader had been the next promising individual hopeful of becoming a universe supreme master. Following in his stead would be Darkness Master and Peng Gong Master. But now, the possible order of promising candidates for universe supreme master might have changed to Primal Chaos City leader, Luo Feng, Peng Gong Master, followed by Darkness Master. The two great life forms, Teacher Origin and Huge Axe, were highly in favor of Luo Feng. Since then, this would naturally make Primal Chaos City leader pay more attention to this disciple. If both teacher and disciple became Universe Supreme Masters, they would become a highly talked about celebrity pair in Universe Ocean. Furthermore, Teacher Origin was Primal Chaos City leader's teacher, and Primal Chaos City leader was Luo Feng's teacher. Wouldn't that be 3 generations of Universe Supreme Masters coming from the same branch? Think of how greatly Primal Chaos City leader would look forward to seeing this happen. With high hopes, Primal Chaos City leader said with a smile, besides, given your comprehension of the universe revolution, when you have become a universe master, you will not have to wait long before you try to become a universe supreme master. But with regards to this, I have no suggestions. After all, the path of every universe supreme master is different. Even I am still searching for mine. Luo Feng was truly awe-inspired. Yes. It would not be difficult for him to become a universe master, because he was leading in terms of achievements of secret techniques, and his path of law comprehension was smooth sailing. In addition, he had already comprehended the heart of Beast God, so in the future, succeeding at the Beast God path would be a breeze. However, if he wanted to become a universe supreme master, that would be much more difficult, because every universe supreme master had to follow a different path. Studies of diagrams of secret engravings, studies of beast gods, and such, all had predecessors. Therefore, he had to give up on all these. So long as there were predecessors, he had to abandon those paths. That said, his path would become very narrow. Ha ha, too far away. Primal Chaos City leader finished with a laugh. You still have quite a long way to go. I think it is better for you to put your heart into cultivating to become a universe master for now. Understood. Luo Feng replied. If there is trouble or danger, remember to tell me or tell Huge Axe. Now, you not only belong to your Earth branch, or to yourself, you also belong to us, the human race. Primal Chaos City Leader jokingly added, Go ahead. I am not worried about you going over to the black-striped stone pillar. That is the territory of the 3 old fellows. Yes, I understand. I will take my leave now. Luo Feng retreated immediately, his figure disappearing into the shadows. The space of the black-striped stone pillars was one of the few major domains within the universe boat that was free of danger. Dangers due to great beings fighting one another were not counted, as places with great beings would always be grounds for resentment and feuds. The entire space was supported by 16 black-striped stone pillars that were all 1,000 light-years tall. Other than the frozen space near the black-striped stone pillars that disallowed teleportation, there would be no trouble teleporting within the other regions in that entire space. And the black-striped stone pillars were natural monuments. These 13, 1,000 light-year stone pillars all have extremely profound black secret engravings etched onto them. The level of their secret engravings was very high, and they contained resentments and feuds that even Universe Supreme Masters could not comprehend. However, it was just like the powerful lost knowledge of that ancient being that Luo Feng found in that hidden secret space. If there were no step-by-step instructions to follow, and no gradual increase in difficulty level to aid in comprehending those secret engravings, then the diagrams of black secret engravings found all over those stone pillars would be incomprehensible. Every black-striped stone pillar was extremely powerful, more powerful than any supreme true treasure. Its length of 1,000 light-years made this apparent. Up until now, there was no great being who could touch a black-striped stone pillar with their bare hands. The closer one got to a black-striped stone pillar, the more terrifying the impact it had on one's willpower. Even a Universe Supreme Master was unable to stand before a black-striped stone pillar. Regardless, this was a natural, ancient monument that was easily found. The level of secret engravings was extraordinarily high and distributed all over the 1,000 light-year stone pillar, and there were as many as 16 such pillars. Naturally, it would attract hibernating old fellows to entrench themselves here. There was safety, an allowance for teleportation, fast time velocity, and monuments around. Various factors made this a good resting and cultivation place for great beings who were tired from roaming the depths of Universe Boat. There was fog spreading out, and there seemed no end to it. In his silver armor, Luo Feng teleported twice over short distances. The fog was thinning, as the space of the black-striped stone pillars was from a highest to a lowest point, where the boundary of the surroundings was filled with thick fog. But the surroundings of the middle area, where the 16 black-striped stone pillars were dispersed at random, did not hold a trace of fog. There was another saying, the boundary between areas that allowed and disallowed teleportation was where fog would be so thin that it might seem negligible. A stream of silver, rainbow-like light flashed across the void space. Ha ha! After traveling for the past 620 years, I finally arrived at this space of the black-striped stone pillars. Luo Feng had transformed himself in a stream of rainbow light, and was full of smiles, happy and carefree. However, my 2 teachers, Sitting Mountain Guest and Primal Chaos City Leader, were right. Battles are indeed the best when it comes to honing skills. Since I entered Universe Boat, I have been wandering about, gaining experiences from a large number of dangerous lands, getting involved in several life-and-death battles, and I finally achieved a breakthrough in my battle at the Wave of Stars Ocean. Although he was not a Universe Master, when it came to studying diagrams of secret engravings, he had an achievement at the level of a Universe Master. After his battle in the Wave of Stars Ocean, he had spent time creating a series of strongest secret techniques of Universe Masters. This was comparable to the strongest secret technique of a miniature universe, and was an attack secret technique. Most importantly, it was something he created himself, and was evidence of his capability. Earlier on, when he advanced with the identity of Cracking Gold Master, he had created this set of strongest secret techniques, and named it after his identity, Cracking Gold. Cracking Gold was a secret technique he created with his own hands. However, his strongest move was the triple levels of secret engravings on the right arm of Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor. He had specially named it Extermination God. Huh. Luo Feng turned his head to look off into the distance. Although he was transformed into a stream of silver, rainbow-like light, while flying at high speed, he was also unleashing Snow Fire Sector. Snow Fire Sector was one of the true treasures he had obtained during his current venture in Universe Boat. It was a top-tier domain-type true treasure. It was the cause of that battle in Wave of the Stars Ocean, where several great beings fought one another to vie for its ownership. I have actually run into someone from the Hong Alliance. Luo Feng laughed. Milky Way Horde leader. A stream of deep green rainbow-like light flew over. It was quite fast, but Luo Feng could still clearly make out the face of the other party with his naked eye. It was Swallow Hawk Master, a universe master of a different race from the Hong Alliance. Swallow Hawk Master held a relatively high position within the Hong Alliance because he was extremely powerful, and he belonged to the same level as Ice Mountain Master. Usually, he would be roaming the internal domain of the three most dangerous lands with various means that he carried along with him. He was remarkably skilled at keeping himself alive, and also, it was extremely difficult to provoke him. I heard that Milky Way Horde leader has gotten a new domain true treasure that enshrouds you with endless blue flames. The moment I discovered a site like this from the domain I was previously in, I suspected that it was you, Milky Way Horde leader, so I rushed over here. With one look, I have proven to myself that I was right. Ha ha. Fancy running into a fellow member from our Hong Alliance in the internal domain of Universe Boat. What a delight. Deep green all over, the bird being stretched and spread out its wings. The top of its head sported golden feathers, and it communicated with the direct use of the human common language via voice transmission. Within the Hong Alliance, it used more of the human common language for conversations. Being able to meet Swallow Hawk Master, this is indeed something delightful, Luo Feng exclaimed with joy. I heard about what happened to you, Milky Way Horde leader, said Swallow Hawk Master. The other bodies of Ultimate Arrow Master and 5 Chaos Master were annihilated, one after the other. Later, you moved about as Cracking Gold Master. All this while, you have been continually pushing yourself for improvement. I'm afraid I am no longer your match. Luo Feng smiled. What the other party was saying was true. Besides, this was a super great practically licking his boots. Of course, he found it pleasurable. Swallow Hawk Master, you are too modest. Luo Feng laughed. May I ask, why has Milky Way Horde leader come to this space of the black-striped stone pillars? Swallow Hawk Master was beside Luo Feng, and the two transformed into streams of rainbow-like lights. Using their godly powers as a medium, they conversed with one another. I am here to borrow the strength of the black-striped stone pillars to sharpen and hone my willpower, Luo Feng replied right away. Oh? Swallow Hawk Master was surprised. Sharpen and hone your willpower. From the 3 reincarnation eras of Universe Ocean, and 2 Holy Land universes, not many have specially chosen this place to sharpen and hone their willpower. Most of them are here just for a temporary break, or to comprehend the secret engravings on the black-striped stone pillars. I have been here for quite some time. There are certain things I think I should tell you first, Milky Way Horde leader. Swallow Hawk Master, please speak your mind, Luo Feng said. The space of the black-striped stone pillars is very safe, and there are ancient monuments with secret engravings, which are very profound, Swallow Hawk Master said. That's why there's always a group of great beings entrenched here. Especially the 3 beings who are the strongest among them all. The 3 existences are all Universe Supreme Masters. One is a lone wanderer, and the others belong to different races. They are Bei Kai Star Master from the first reincarnation era, Blood Orchid Ancestor, and Rampaging Devil God from the second reincarnation era. This I know. Luo Feng nodded. I want to tell you about the temperaments of these 3, Swallow Hawk Master began. Bei Kai Star Master has a remarkably good character. So long as you treat him with respect, nothing will go wrong. But Blood Orchid Ancestor is a plant life form. It is spread all over the place. You must stay as far as 1 million kilometers away from it. Otherwise, you may be in danger of annihilation. These two are still all right, one of a good temperament, the other being extremely evil, and are easy to deal with. The most troublesome one will be Rampaging Devil Master. Luo Feng nodded. He had also heard things about Rampaging Devil Master, including that it was very dangerous and difficult to deal with. But the space of the black-striped stone pillars was the territory of these three old fellows, so he must be vigilant and be certain not to offend any of them. Rampaging Devil God was a universe supreme master from the second reincarnation era. There was a great deal of information on the universe supreme masters from the three reincarnation eras and two Holy Land universes in Luo Feng's mind. The universe supreme masters could be sorted into different groups. There were some skilled in dealing with souls, some skilled in annihilating material subjects, and some possessing supreme true treasures, or not contributed to their differences. And among all the universe supreme masters within the universe ocean, Rampaging Devil God was an extremely frightening existence. He dared to name himself Rampaging. That said something about his guts. Regarding his personal ability, he was only considered to be a universe supreme master of normal standard. Yet he was considered terrifying simply because he had that supreme true treasure. He was a unique life form, and it was in his nature to like swallowing stones, metals, and hard materials as such. He had been born with that extremely hard outer shell. It was said that there was too much essence of rocks and metals coagulated on the outer shell over his godly body, which was why the degree of hardness of this outer shell was unbelievable. Adding on his supreme true treasure armor, it was certainly enough to allow him to run rampant throughout Universe Ocean. That armor was very unique, and was named Blood Ocean Devil Armor. Other than the normal defense ability, this Blood Ocean Devil Armor was able to create a surrounding that was filled with the impact of an insane willpower where one seemed to have fallen into a hell of blood ocean. When Rampaging Devil God is battling other universe supreme masters, Swallow Hawk Master said, there is nothing outstanding about his performance. Yet against us universe masters, he does have an absolute advantage. Once he goes crazy, his supreme true treasure will let out an outburst of willpower, and that impact will be so strong that even universe supreme masters will be slightly affected. As for us, universe masters, I'm afraid we will be so overwhelmed, instantly, that we will not be able to put up any form of resistance at all. Luo Feng nodded solemnly. And he is very temperamental. There is no way we can predict his capricious moods. Swallow Hawk Master was flying as he elaborated amidst sighs. He is also a loner. Thus, he is not afraid of getting into trouble, which is why, the moment anyone sees this Rampaging Devil God, they would rather make a detour and avoid crossing paths with him. If not for Bei Kai Star Master, several other universe masters, as well as myself, would already have left this place. Bei Kai Star Master's character is extremely likable, and he has spent a very long time comprehending the black-striped stone pillars, so his knowledge is more comprehensive. Bei Kai Star Master tends to share what he has comprehended with everyone, which is always so rewarding for us all. Universe Supreme Masters who are willing to share and guide us are very, very few, so we are all reluctant to leave, because of Bei Kai Star Master. Wherever Bei Kai Star Master chooses to reside, Rampaging Devil God will also be more respectful in his behavior. The most detestable thing about him is that Rampaging Devil God likes to change his looks, especially when he meets newcomers who have never seen him before, much less know his life aura. Meeting Rampaging Devil God in his changed appearance, they will not recognize him at all. They will not have the slightest degree of vigilance. The moment they do something to anger Rampaging Devil God, even for something very minor, I'm afraid annihilation is their only fate. Two streaks of rainbow-like light swept across the void space. As he flew, Luo Feng gradually got a better understanding of the situation. The space of the black-striped stone pillars had a total of 16 black-striped stone pillars. Blood Orchid Ancestor had stationed himself by the number 9 black-striped stone pillar a long time ago, while Bei Kai Star Master had stationed himself by the number 2 black-striped stone pillar, also on a long-term basis. As for Rampaging Devil God, he did not fix himself to a certain stone pillar, and liked to wander around randomly in his disguised identities. If one could recognize his aura, then nothing much would happen. On the other hand, not being able to identify him or his aura would mean that danger was near. Right ahead will be the number 2 black-striped stone pillar. It is the place where the majority of great beings in all of the space of black-striped stone pillars gathered. Spreading his pair of wings, Swallowhawk Master flew up into the sky at high speed and headed towards the number 2 celestial magic pillar. Flying alongside him was Luo Feng, who took a glance at where they were heading toward. It was a towering height that knew no bounds, so tall that it extended all the way past the limits of the field of vision and bore through the foggy atmosphere. As for the base of the black-striped stone pillar, it too had penetrated into the bottommost endless fog. A tremendous amount of gigantic rocks orbited the black-striped stone pillars, continuously revolving around the pillars like Earth around the sun. These sizable rocks tirelessly circled the black-striped stone pillars. Also, amidst the dense and endless ocean of rocks, there could be seen black-tipped architecture that sported some extremely eye-catching and exquisite sculptures. Those were the space chambers. I have obtained a black token from 5 Chaos Master, but I do not know which space chamber this black token corresponds to, Luo Feng said to himself. There are 16 black-striped stone pillars here. Every black-striped stone pillar has some space chambers in its surroundings. The only problem is, I can only detect a sensation if I am close to the space chamber that corresponds with my black token. Seems like I have to try my luck with these 16 black-striped stone pillars one by one. In the midst of flying, Swallowhawk Master was observing Luo Feng. As they approached the number 2 black-striped stone pillar, the powerful impact of the willpower got stronger. Kill. 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 It was as though an army of millions and billions of soldiers was roaring in battle. To reach them, for great beings who had just become universe masters, they would need all of their might to resist the impact of such strong willpower. But Swallowhawk Master realized that Luo Feng was unshaken, and his face seemed to tell how effortless this was for him. This Luo Feng. His cultivation time is short, yet his willpower is so powerful. Swallowhawk Master was shocked. I have spent a long time cultivating myself. And I also had to spend an extremely long time honing my willpower to reach this high level before I could easily overcome it. How can he resist the impact so easily? Swallowhawk Master, said Luo Feng as he pointed into the distance. Several great beings seemed to be entrenched on the gigantic rocks, orbiting some of the black-striped stone pillars. At a single glance, I can already see a handful of great beings. Where the number 2 black-striped stone pillar is, exactly how many great beings are there? Close to 100, Swallowhawk Master replied right away. As you can see, they are all at different distances from the black-striped stone pillar. Some are further, some are nearer. This all depends on the willpower of the individual great beings. If your willpower is stronger, you can naturally choose a spot nearer to the black-striped stone pillar to rest. In the deepest area, you will find Beikai Star Master. Su. Su. 2 streaks of light speedily flew toward the black-striped stone pillar. What did it really mean to say that the black-striped stone pillar was as tall as 1,000 light-years? The entire solar system, when compared to it, was merely a small dot. The closer you got to it, the loftier it felt. That formidable aura was so strong that it made Luo Feng shudder. This was indeed worthy of being known to all as a treasure more unique than a supreme true treasure. Until that very day, no universe supreme master dared to go near it, much less to touch it. Milky Way Horde leader, Swallowhawk Master, could not help saying. The nearer we are, the stronger the impact of that willpower. My usual mediation area is in the deeper region, and that area is near to my tolerance limit, so I can use it to hone my willpower all the more. If it gets overbearing for you, do let me know beforehand. That's good. I can take the chance to test my limit. Luo Feng laughed. The two flew toward the inner region. Swallowhawk Master continued to closely observe Luo Feng. From his point of view, Luo Feng had merely cultivated for slightly more than 10 eras. Even if he were to start honing his willpower from his moment of birth, how strong could he become? Yet Luo Feng's expression was natural and relaxed. Obviously, the impact of the willpower did not exhaust him at all, much less push him to his limit. Swallow Hawk Master, as we get nearer to the stone pillar, time velocity is also continuously changing, Luo Feng commented. The time velocity here is already as fast as 200 times more. What about the place you usually go to when honing your willpower? How many times faster is the time velocity over there? The nearer we are, the faster the rate of acceleration of time velocity, Swallow Hawk Master said. The time velocity in the area where I hone my skills is around 1,100 times. For someone like Beikai Master, whose willpower is extremely terrifying among all the universe supreme masters, he has cultivated for a period longer than one reincarnation era. According to him, the place where he cultivates has a time velocity that is as fast as 130,000 times more. Luo Feng was dumbfounded. It was no wonder even rampaging devil god had to give credit to Beikai Master. This gentle-tempered existence from the first reincarnation era, who did not mind sharing his experience and knowledge with others, was simply too powerful for words. Solely his willpower alone could be so terrifying. If he were to venture into the studies of illusion, the amount of fear he could instill in other great beings would be out of the world. Even executing something as simple as a soul attack, when coupled with his willpower, would result in an invincible soul attack. This great existence also had an extraordinary perspective on life. Even when he was nearing his doomsday, he was still able to cultivate quietly. At times, he would openly share his comprehensions. Other times, he would simply exist in peaceful silence. Swallow Hawk Master. By his side, that silver-armored, black-haired human. That must be Silver Wings Horde leader Luo Feng. In the surrounding area of the black-striped stone pillar, several universe masters had also noticed that Swallow Hawk Master and Luo Feng were making their way toward the inner region, much deeper in from where they were. These universe masters were secretly in shock. To be able to venture further and deeper in, obviously the willpower of Luo Feng was much stronger than theirs. They were in disbelief that someone with such a short cultivation period could have a willpower that was so strong. Amongst them, there were some who were very powerful and had strong fighting abilities, but that did not mean that they had terrifying willpower. After all, out of almost 100 universe masters, only a fraction of them honed their willpower for the long term. The majority of them were only there for a short break. The area they were at was merely a safe transit stop. That is my cultivation place. Swallow Hawk Master was flying at high speed and soon landed on a piece of gigantic rock that was speeding through the air. Luo Feng landed likewise. Milky Way Horde leader, you are able to resist the impact of the willpower of this place. You have earned my admiration. Swallow Hawk Master was impressed. Luo Feng laughed. Luckily for him, he had gone through the honing process within the space of the wings. Given his past, before the time spent in the space of the wings, if he were to be in this space that he was in now, he would have likely been sprawled on the floor with his entire body trembling, gritting his teeth while perspiring profusely. But now, he could only feel exhaustion, nothing else. Oh, there is still quite a number of universe masters ahead. Luo Feng was surprised to see that a distance away from where they were, at an area nearer to the black-striped stone pillars, there was, indeed, a handful of great beings on the gigantic rock. Yes, although there are close to 100 universe masters gathered here, more than half are just here to take a temporary break and not intentionally here to hone their willpower for cultivation. The ones who are here with the intention of honing their willpower normally would be of a relatively higher standard in regards to their willpower, as compared to their peers. There are also some whose willpower has reached the pinnacle level of a universe master. As for those who passed the bottleneck and achieved a breakthrough, their willpower is now comparable to that of a universe supreme master. Look. That. Those 19. At an almost similar distance away from the black-striped stone pillars, these 19 universe masters have reached the ultimate limit of a universe master's willpower. If they want to make further progress, they will have to pass the bottleneck of a universe master. And thereafter, they will undergo qualitative changes to attain willpower that is comparable to that of a universe supreme master. Look, deeper in, Swallow Hawk Master explained. Other than Beikai Star Master, standing even closer to the black-striped stone pillars as compared to the 19 universe masters, I can see two other great beings. Actually, there are three. These three universe masters all have a willpower comparable to a universe supreme master. These three are, respectively, from the two Holy Land universes and the first reincarnation era. Luo Feng lamented. He was afraid of being at a comparable standard as the other 19 universe masters. No one would have expected to find three universe masters whose willpower was comparable to that of universe supreme masters within this space of the black striped stone pillars. Throughout the entire universe ocean, how many can be found? Right, said Swallow Hawk Master. Out of the three universe masters, there is one from the Divine Eye clan. You previously annihilated the Divine Eye clan's ultimate Arrow Master and 5 Chaos Master. That places great enmity between you and the Divine Eye clan, so you had better practice more caution. Oh, what is he called? Luo Feng asked. Divine Eye clan. Clear Eye Master. Swallow Hawk Master said solemnly. There was a slight change in Luo Feng's expression. It's him. Luo Feng was secretly shocked. This Clear Eye Master was comparable to 5 Chaos Master. If he was to be ranked within the 6th-tier category for Universe Masters, he would be ranked as a 5th-tiered Universe Master. Clear Eye Master was first true Master's disciple, especially skilled in techniques involving soul attacks and illusions, and he had an illusion-type unique treasure Clear Light Mirror. This Clear Light Mirror was comparable to Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor in terms of value. Or at least, in the hands of Clear Eye Master, it had made a name for itself. In terms of godly power, this Clear Eye Master is close to the perfect limit. In terms of willpower, he is comparable to a Universe Supreme Master. And with Clear Light Mirror in his possession, even if he were to be compared with a Universe Supreme Master, at the very most, he would lose out a little in terms of secret technique. Luo Feng analyzed to himself. Many great beings would rather be confronted by 5 Chaos Master. No one is willing to cross paths with Clear Eye Master. In a face-to-face confrontation with 5 Chaos Master, brute force alone will suffice, but with Clear Eye Master, once they are subjected to a soul attack or an illusion attack, their consciousness will be trapped, and then they will be at a great disadvantage. Of course, if given a choice between 5 Chaos Master and Clear Eye Master, the majority of the great beings would choose to fight 5 Chaos. But Luo Feng was keener on battling Clear Eye Master. If 5 Chaos Master were to really put effort into fighting a battle, Luo Feng might be cornered into helplessness. Swallow Hawk Master, since you are cultivating here, I shall not interrupt further. Luo Feng smiled. Milky Way Horde Leader, Swallow Hawk Master said. When you are honing your willpower in the space of the black striped stone pillars, should the need arises, do feel free to contact me via the virtual universe. I will be here all the time. Sure. Luo Feng transformed into a stream of silver, rainbow-like light, and continued to fly toward the black striped stone pillars. Huh. It's a human. There is a human flying over here. That is, silver armor and black hair. It's Silver Wings Horde Leader Luo Feng. He dares fly here. Seems like for him to make such a name for himself, there must be something different about him. At least, when it comes to willpower, his is comparable to mine. As Luo Feng continued to fly nearer to the space of the black striped stone pillars, he caught the attention of several universe masters. Time velocity is indeed soaring at an accelerated rate. 1,500 times, 1,800 times, 2,300 times, 2,800 times. Luo Feng could feel time and space contorting. Space had frozen, and time velocity was so frighteningly fast, at a rate that matched 3,000 times that of the outside world. Luo Feng finally came to a stop and landed directly on a huge flying rock. The other 19 universe masters were about the same distance away. Such great oppression. Luo Feng stood on the huge rock and looked afar at the lofty and towering celestial magic pillars in the distance. The impact of the willpower here is so strong that I can already feel it taking a toll on me. Luckily for me, I am still able to stay poised. No wonder the other 19 universe masters did not continue to advance. If they had done so, I'm afraid they would have lost control of their godly bodies and showed their discomposure. Whole body trembling. Perspiring profusely. Blood osmosing. These symptoms, along with various other indications of one's soul being put under unbearable agony, were the signs of discomposure. Right now, it was getting extremely tough, and the oppression was excessive, but he had pulled through. In the future, I shall hone my willpower on this huge rock, Luo Feng said to himself. The human, Milky Way horde leader Luo Feng, from the primal universe, has appeared in universe boat somewhere in the space of the black striped stone pillars, within the surroundings of number 2 black striped stone pillar. Luo Feng has appeared. He is right in the space of the black striped stone pillars. It is that Silver Wings horde leader. He is right here. I just saw him with my own eyes. Absolutely no doubt. Close to 100 universe masters were nearby, and a handful had already spotted Luo Feng. Naturally, the news spread quickly. Luo Feng had expected this to happen. After all, this time around, he was going to stay for a long time to hone his willpower, so there was no way he could hide from them. But even if his presence was made public, it meant nothing much. His primary enemy was the Divine Eye clan. Other groups of powers would not go to the same lengths to fight him. Huge Axe Creator's power might not have been made known to those within Universe Ocean, but Third True Master and Sixth True Master suffering a devastating defeat at his hands was major news. Who would not have caught wind of it? Even if anyone wanted to deal with Luo Feng, it would only be those Universe Masters who bore a grudge against him. No one else at the level of a Universe Supreme Master would dare to make reckless moves with Huge Axe acting as a powerful deterrent. Clear Eye Master wore a white robe, and had skin that was smooth and clear like white jade. He stood on a huge rock with his eyes closed. Behind him, the single-eyed shadow radiated faint light rays as Clear Eye Master resisted the impact of that willpower as best as he could. The place he was at was much nearer to the black-striped stone pillars, so if ordinary Universe Masters were to advance nearer, they would likely be hit by the impact of willpower and be knocked unconscious. In the distance, it led to a place occupied by great beings whose willpower had reached the limit of a Universe Master. However, in the direction which his senses had pointed him, a lone figure was descending. A human. Clear Eye Master's brows furrowed slightly. Soon enough, the identity of the figure became apparent. His eyes flashed with a hint of harsh countenance, but he was quick in showing restraint as he softly mumbled under his breath, Silver Wings horde leader. How dare you show yourself here? You sure have guts. Ultimate arrow, he has another body. I am unable to totally annihilate him to avenge you, but I can destroy this body of his. Everything seemed to be at peace. But Clear Eye Master's heart was burning with insane rage and murderous intentions. Long before Clear Eye Master had become a Universe Master, his family and friends from his younger years had all passed away due to old age. During a long period of close to 3 reincarnation eras, the other Universe Masters, who were not only from the same clan, but also the same level as him and had similarities of character, naturally formed cliques, or even forged deep friendships that transcended life and death. Clear Eye Master and Ultimate Arrow Master were very close at heart, and shared an extremely deep friendship, for they had seen each other through a long period of close to 3 reincarnation eras. They had long been accustomed to the existence of friends. The annihilation of Ultimate Arrow naturally filled him with resentment. Yet Luo Feng's whereabouts were always a mystery. At times, he would appear in God-destroying Valley. Other times, he would appear in Wave of Stars Ocean. Occasionally, there would be traces of his whereabouts, and these made it more difficult for the other great beings to determine his intended route. Very well. A streak of white light flew through the air and charged toward Luo Feng at high speed. It's Clear Eye Master. Why would Clear Eye Master head toward Silver Wings horde leader? Could it be because of Ultimate Arrow Master and 5 Chaos Master? The human Luo Feng is in deep trouble. Several other Universe Masters realized what was happening, but they observed quietly instead. No one intervened. Luo Feng had just sat down cross-legged, about to start meditating, when he suddenly spotted a flash of white light flying toward him. Luo Feng gave a slight frown. Clear Eye Master. That white light maintained a speed of 100 times time velocity, and was quickly approaching Luo Feng. A short moment later, it reduced its speed by moving in a crooked line, then descended and landed on the gigantic rock that Luo Feng was on. This rock was so massive that even when both Luo Feng and Clear Eye Master were standing on it, they were like the size of 2 ants compared to the whole planet Earth. Silver Wings Horde Leader. A clear and cold voice was transmitted over to Luo Feng as a white-robed figure approached him, step by step. Every step surpassed tens of thousands of kilometers, and he was so fast that he left behind a trail of shadows. I am called Milky Way Horde Leader, not Silver Wings Horde Leader. Luo Feng finally stood up, appearing leisurely and relaxed as he looked at the white-robed figure in the distance. Clear Eye Master, what is your purpose in coming here? Don't you know? Clear Eye Master was clearly feeling unfriendly toward Luo Feng, as he closed the distance between them step after step. To avenge Ultimate Arrow and 5 Chaos. Luo Feng asked in return. All for the sake of saving the face of your clan. Whatever the reason, you ought to die. Clear Eye Master said. He continued advancing with a cold look. The distance between him and Luo Feng was shortening, and his voice was transmitted over to Luo Feng through green spots of light. Ought to die. Luo Feng laughed. Clear Eye Master stood firm on his spot as he looked at Luo Feng. Being sucked into the deep abyss, losing the pair of silver wings true treasure. Yet I had not expected you to be able to rise on your feet again so quickly. What a pity that you are still so tender and immature. Judging from how you look now, it seems like you show no fear. Luo Feng chuckled to himself. Scared? What a joke. He was wearing crazy demon extermination godly armor, which was made of a unique material that was capable of reducing the power of a soul attack to 1%. But this was beside the point. His greatest trump card was Star Tower, which he kept within his body. Star Tower was a supreme true treasure, and with it guarding his soul, why would he fear? This was why he might feel intimidated by that illustrious name, but if he were to choose between 5 Chaos Master and Clear Eye Master, he would definitely choose Clear Eye Master. How confident you are. Clear Eye Master remarked coldly. Very well. Meet your doom. Clear Eye Master was an arrogant being, through and through. Without warning, the single-eyed shadow behind him suddenly expanded, and an ancient mirror emerged from within his body to combine with the single-eyed shadow. Instantly, the shadow seemed to take on a tangible form, as though a single gigantic eye was gazing at Luo Feng from afar. Then an intangible attack directly befell upon Luo Feng. Just die, once and for all, Clear Eye Master said coldly with a wave of his hand. A beam of white light flew rapidly through the air at Luo Feng. In mid-flight, the beam transformed into a dazzling white beast. The beast resembled a white dragon, but it had 2 heads. It glided through the air, let out a deep growl, and within an instant, appeared before Luo Feng. The 2 heads of the beast suddenly launched their attacks together, like a pair of scissors determined to snip Luo Feng to death. Falling into my illusions, you shall have no power of resistance at all, regardless of how strong your godly body is, Clear Eye Master said coldly. The most you could do is to launch a few more attacks. This was why many Universe Masters were reluctant to exchange blows with him. He was a terrifying existence, who was extremely strong in areas related to the soul, which was frightening enough. Of course, if his soul attacks could be warded off, he would be rendered helpless without further techniques to rely on. Being skilled in soul attacks usually meant that he would not be as strong in material attacks, like Master of Banff, who had very mediocre skills when it came to using material attacks during fights. Upon comparison, Clear Eye Master was more powerful than Master of Banff. He could rely on areas involving souls and make the rank of a 5th-tiered Universe Master. But when it came to material attacks, he barely made the rank of a 4th-tier standard, although this was still quite impressive. Standing unmoving like a wooden pole, Luo Feng suddenly waved his arm. On his right hand, sharp claws formed and started to tear at the surrounding time and space instantly. These 5 sharp claws were like golden blades, and they gathered to converge into one huge sharp claw, which viciously caught hold of that 2-headed dragon-like beast, tearing and biting with a murderous intention to kill. There was a loud roar of pain. The two-headed dragon's skull was split into two as it collapsed. The moment this beast that was formed with the use of a true treasure galvanizing technique was defeated and dispersed, the form of a certain true treasure was revealed. It was a blade that looked like an ordinary white ruler. The long white ruler rolled into the distance before it fell and smashed heavily onto the vast surface of the gigantic rock, causing the entire rock to tremble. Clear Eye Master was in shock. He could not be bothered with anything else, as he repeatedly executed his strongest technique, clear extermination of reincarnation. Luo Feng simply dodged the attacks in a flash. As a great being who had cultivated the Beast God path, upon comprehending the heart of Beast God, every part of his godly body was like a weapon, and any technique could be executed directly with his godly body. Luo Feng could move about at a shocking speed. He was just like a fearsome beast god. In a flash, he appeared before Clear Eye Master, then, with sharp claws that seemed to be composed of 5 blades, he slashed down onto Clear Eye Master's head. Clear Eye Master tried his best to ward off the attack, but with a loud rumble, he was reduced to something a cookie smashed into pieces. He immediately fell flat onto the surface of the huge rock, and subsequently, into a huge pit created by the impact of Luo Feng's strike. How dare you think of killing me? Luo Feng's angry roars resounded. In your dreams. How did you manage to? Clear Eye Master was about to make a hasty retreat as he emerged from the deep pit, but he was still in disbelief that the ultimate technique, that he was so proud of, clear extermination of reincarnation, had actually failed to work on Luo Feng. This was the flaw that a great being from the pulse of soul attacks had. If his opponent was influenced by his soul attack, it was fated that he would trample on his opponent. However, if his soul attack were to fail, he would be trampled upon instead. This video will end here.